Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. So, Gemini, we have the Four of Cups, which has everything to do with luxury. Okay, and let's go ahead. We're going to take a look and see what are these tea leaves going to tell us. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. So I have this feeling of a hunt or like trying to catch birds. Maybe chickens. But we have here a person who is, this would be their head, their body, their arm is up here, their other arm grabbing onto, it looks like a bird, right? Here the head and the beak and the top of the head, and here's the body and the tail feathers there. Now over here we have a bird that looks like it's running, okay? And here's that tail feather again. And here are the legs and the head. And then we have a person behind them running after them, right? Now over here it looks like we have a person who is holding the bird in their hand or arm. Here's their head, here's the body of the person and their foot, here's the bird, here's the head of the bird. Okay, so we have a lot of, well, it seems like it could almost be like a, like Laurel and Hardy, or what was the other one? The other comedy where they like run around, the Three Stooges, right? This kind of comedic, like, I can't get a hold of it. So, in this case, I feel like this chicken must really kind of represent the plentiful, right? If you could think of having chickens, having a bunch of hens, the eggs, right? The eggs, well, and the other things that come from having chickens, if, you know, whatever, you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I do. I feel like this is kind of like you have been working hard to really get your ultimate product of whatever you're making, whatever you're working on, whatever, you know, maybe you're in school and you're really trying to get that really great job, or maybe, you know, you've been working in this business, this industry for years, and you're, you know, really focused on evolving your business, your position, your skill set, your marketability, all these things, right? And, you know, I feel like it's just something that you have not given up on. It doesn't matter what it looks like to others. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to anybody else, but you're going to do it. And you are putting your all into this. I really wonder if, and this is just kind of the energy that, and look at this. Here's a person who has gotten the bird and they're holding it up. Oh, and it fell towards them as I was saying that. Oh, we also have a Sagittarius over here. Look at that. Kind of the Minotaur. So it looks like letting this thing be seen, showing it off, holding it up like this, right? So I do feel like, you know, this might even be like a situation where you've been doing something for years. Like, I don't know, maybe, you know, you work at a certain company, you're like in some management position or whatever, you've been, you know, doing this thing, you know it in and out, back and forth, no question. But suddenly, you know, you come to this realization that, like, yeah, this is not enough for me. This is not going anywhere. You know, I've hit the ceiling. And now maybe it's time to do something else. Maybe it's time to retire. Maybe it's time to go into another profession. Maybe I want to go back to school. Maybe I want to start like a little side hustle or a business. And, you know, the people around you don't necessarily get why. Why would you do that? You have a good thing going. Why would you mess that up? But for you, it's like, what else am I going to do? Am I just going to live out a life because it's safe? Am I just going to live this way because I know what to expect? You know, because that's all illusionary too. We have no idea. You know, we could work for a company for 30 years and all of a sudden they go under. You don't have anything to show for it. You know, you have no idea. So I feel like, yeah, you are at a place where the current is changing. Things are changing. The course of the river is changing. The winds are changing. You know, the birds are flying backwards. I mean, you know, whatever. Everything is on its head right now for you. I don't think that this makes you unhappy. You know, Gemini, you are flexible. You are really good at adapting. You're very adventurous. You're brave. You don't like the feeling of getting stuck, trapped, you know, put in a box. So I could see that this actually might be the most exciting part of the whole deal for you is, yeah, saying, okay, I'm done with this part. Now I'm ready to start something new. I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but I'm going to do it. And so I do. I see you setting out on this kind of new adventure. And I think that this really coincides with the beginning of this next year. I feel like in these last months you are wrapping up some stuff. You maybe even are working up, mustering up, you know, that bravery to finally kind of, yeah, take those first steps. Now we also have the number 45. And we have the Sagittarius person. Now, I'm going to set this down because I want to ask the oracle cards. What is our Sagittarius friend doing? Who are they? What do they want? Why are they showing up? Because they are pretty prominent looking. So these are the oracle of the radiant sun. And we're just going to do between 3 and 6 cards. Okay, so number 1 card. Adaptability. There we go. Didn't we just say that? So this is about the changing of the tides, right? Now we have some criticism, which we already talked about. I think this is all about people saying, what the heck are you thinking? What are you doing? Like, you have this great job. Why would you want anything else? You, like, you know, you're making enough money. You have good insurance, hopefully, right? And benefits, and why would you do anything else? Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Excitement. So there is. You're very excited about this. Okay, so we have flattery, defense, and birth. So the Sagittarius person has your back. This is like maybe the one person in your life that's like, heck yeah, this is awesome. I'm so proud of you. You know, and there is some amount of flattery. I think this person really, you know, knows that you like to be treated a little sweet. And yeah, I think that there can be moments of laying it on thick, we'll say, okay? Now, where people around you are maybe like, you're absolutely going through a midlife crisis. Why would you do this? What are you doing? Please don't do it. You know, all these things. This person is defending you 100%. They understand what you're doing. They understand where you're coming from. They have your back. They're in your corner, and they are at your defense. Now, the most important part, birth. And this is it. This is a rebirth process that you are going through. And I feel like you have the Sagittarius person in your life who is really going along with you on this journey. Now, they're having their own thing, right? Of course. But I feel like your heart, and that's what it is, your heart, your courageous spirit, your ability to say, I really want to do this. You know, like we all know people that are like, oh, I just want to, you know, find a house in Maine and live by the ocean, and that's like that would be my happy place. This is me, by the way. But it never happens, right? You just dream about it, you talk about it, you know, you're on Zillow at 3 in.the morning. Not that I would be or anything. Looking at houses, thinking, oh, this would be perfect. Me and my husband would look so cute in this house. No. I'm not taking credit for that one. No. But yeah, definitely we all know the people that are like this, and, you know, we all need to dream, and we all need to have our, you know, our little fantasies and things. But this person, the Sagittarius person, is very motivated to do the work in their own life because you are a person that says, hey, I would love to live in Maine. Have you ever been? No? Well, let's just get in the car and go. Let's go see. Let's go see what we see. And you'll do it, right? You're going to go. You're going to check it out. You're going to figure out how to make this happen. It's not just some pipe dream. It's not just some fantasy, you know, that you only think about when you're using the bathroom and scrolling, right? No. This is like you are word is bond, right? You are the person that makes magic happen in your life. And now I want to also look at this really quick. We have this person here who is making magic, right? You can see hands up, things all coming out of their hands, up in the air, almost like apparitions. We have a child standing right next to them, okay? And up here we also have, it looks like a baby carriage, actually. So I do see you as being a manifester, a magician. And this is partly, I think, why you are so proactive and kind of, it is your default. You're not somebody who just lingers in things. You get going pretty quickly. So I can see that this situation that you are heavily involved in, right? This change, this evolution, this rite of passage, you're not going about it alone. No, not at all. I really feel like this is a person that not only do you have this bond, this friendship, this partnership, this belovedness, but they are a sacred partner to you. And ultimately, I feel like you have traveled many lifetimes with each other. And so it makes sense to me that yet again, this life would be the two of you walking on parallel paths. Okay, now not on each other's paths because we don't do that. But your paths are parallel, at least for now and for the foreseeable future. And so, yes, this seems like quite a comfort, although you could go about it alone. Absolutely. Now, with the child, I feel like we also have a person here who is flying a kite. As you can see, and we have that bird still over here who looks also like a dinosaur. But we also have the deer beneath the moon, which actually is perfect. That really, I relate to this a lot because deer season just started here, which is like the hunting season. It is the full moon right now as we speak. And I've seen a ton of deer. Now, I don't hunt. I'll just be real with you. I would cry. I'm too, I try to be tough, but no, there's no freaking way. I'm good at like dressing and you know, processing or butchering things, but ooh, the actual hunt, not for little Lenor over here. But we also have the child, and the deer represents a spiritual moment, right? This is a moment of revelation. This is a moment of connectedness. This is beneath the weight of the moon as well. So there is a sense of maybe surrealism, kind of weird, odd, high strangeness, maybe some kind of paranormal activity, you know, some kind of phenomena that feels otherworldly, okay, accompanied by this very spiritual moment, okay? The child it almost feels like maybe a grandchild or nephew, niece, not necessarily your own child, but it could be. Now, with the flying of the kite, this is all about contemplation, okay? And with the chicken right over here, we're going to look at this as a sense of urgency, okay? So I feel like there really is, or there has been kind of some circumstance where maybe you will have to take care of a child in your family. Maybe not, you know, forever, but there might be a situation that comes up where they will be staying with you, or maybe you will be doing childcare, a situation where maybe you have to like take them to school for a while, or, you know, whatever it is. But I do feel like this connection, it is a reminder of what it's like to be around children, which is a whole different reality, right? You know, we all know we have our adult lives, and then we have our lives with our children. And those two things can feel quite different for some people. Now, if you're like me and I'm a stay-at-home mom, for the most part, my life is just 100% kid marriage business. And they all kind of mix together. But I feel like it's almost like, you know, you've raised your kids. They're adults. They have kids. You haven't spent a ton of time around a lot of kids, you know, recently. Although you probably see your family, of course. But it's different. It has to be different. I remember being auntie for many years. And yeah, taking the kids for the weekend, or, you know, to the zoo or whatever. It's a lot different than when you're actually in the weeds, right? You're doing all the parenting and stuff. So I feel like this connection brings you back to a place that feels so long ago. It probably wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it, right? And I feel like this is kind of maybe the catalyst that really kicks things off to get you moving towards kind of changing some aspects of your life. You know, nothing like being around children to remind ourselves that, you know, we overcomplicate the way that we live as adults. If we just prioritized and got rid of a lot of stuff that we do that we don't even really want to do, that's not actually 100% necessary, we would probably be living a lot longer, more happy lives. I mean, just generally, at least in a little bit of ease. And when you're around kids, you notice they just do what they want and what they need. Like if they need something, they're going to do it. Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, I want a snack. Mom, I need to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. You know, it's not like this overly intellectualized thing like it becomes when we get older, right? And so when we're around kids, we're immersed in that kid universe. It's easier to realize like there are some things that I need to undo about my life, because it is oftentimes feels pretty devoid of your connectedness to that ease of life, or that, it's like a very maybe kind of primal, instinctual, a sense of wonder, awe, exploration, creativity, all this stuff that's right there for us to encounter. But as adults, we just clutter our lives with things and responsibilities and, just all kinds of stuff. Time sucks, right? And when you're around a kid, it's just, you got to do what the flow of things are, for the most part, right? And I feel like that, it kind of gets you back into this place of, I want to live a life that's meaningful. I want to live a life that I can look back on and say, I did what I wanted. I did what I needed to do. I did what was meant for me. Not just showing up at some job to get a paycheck and you feel like you're not even alive, right? So let's take a look over here. We have a 5. We have a sailboat. So we do have some peace here. Kind of a little bit of a more mellow energy. But I also feel like it's like just this real sense of scrappiness. Like, you're going to make this work one way or another. Whatever it is that you are kind of changing into doing, whatever leap of faith you are taking, you are going to make sure that it works out. You're going to figure out how to get there. You're not going to leave it all to chance. So this isn't just like living on a whim, right? But I do feel like there's just such a fullness. I mean, you're just so happy. It's like you have been woken up in your own life. Just have been going through the motions for a while. Now, not forever, but for a while, right? And then number 5. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do our lucky numbers. I want to look at this one more time. Let me just look at this real quick. We have all those chickens. We have the Sagittarius. You have a lot of support. And the money, because that was the first thing that really came out, is the money. Now I want to put this back here. Okay. So we do have sacrifice that has to be made. And I think that's really, it comes down to, and we have an Aries too. An Aries up here involved. Somebody in Aries, maybe a brother. We have a face up here with the helmet right there. Look, here's the nose. Mouth, eye, looks like a helmet. Looks like, now this one was the baby carriage, but it also, without this part, kind of reminds me of like some kind of like a ship, a warring ship. But over here we have, it looks like the bird being held by the neck here. We also have an axe. So that's what I'm talking about, that sacrifice. We have the ship here in the middle as well. So I almost kind of feel like you have maybe a brother. I feel like an aggressive kind of brother, and big in stature. Now, it could be that this is like a cousin or something, but or a good friend, but I'm just thinking of like a Viking type of dude, you know? Kind of really opinionated, but not necessarily always very, like, we'll talk about stuff they don't know about, right? Give you advice about stuff they don't know about. And I feel like I feel like I'm trying to see. He's showing me 3 stars. So 3 stars is, these are like the minor goals. These are the things. There are 3 things. And I feel like it's almost kind of, there's a competition. It's a little competitive. I just feel like you coming to this place where it's almost like you give up on trying to reason, trying to explain or understand why other people think it's their place to be involved at all. But I think for you, it's like, I know, even if nobody else sees, I have to make the sacrifice. I even have to give up something that's pretty dang good, which I think is probably what your life is like now. It's pretty good, but you're willing to take that chance. And it's like all these people just coming forward. Like, why are you doing this? It worries me that you are making, that you're taking these chances. But at the same time, I feel like for you, it's like, I've never given you a reason to worry about my decision making. And it's almost kind of maddening. But I think they come from a place of love and care for you. But for you, it kind of feels smothering. And I think that this has always felt like that. And I think that this person feels like a protector. And it almost feels like too much, like it's controlling, right? You receive their advice as like they're trying to control you. Or there's an undertone of it somewhere, right? And I feel like it's just, there's a big shift towards just absolutely rejecting anything that is going to muddle or get in your way. Right? But at the same time, you're clearing out space for all of this beautiful life that you are manifesting. And I think that's really like how you're trying to receive this. Is sometimes things have to be gone, sacrificed, given away, taken away, put away, because there needs to be room for something else. And one day, they'll understand. Maybe not exactly, but they will. And they're going to come around. It might take 5 years. It might take 20 years. But it will happen. Okay, we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 28, 28, 55, 55, 89. 89. All right, and then we're going to finish up with our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. And these are just going to kind of punctuate the reading. We're going to stop where it feels right. And it says, sacred worth. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love. Including your own love. including your own love that will take you and to places that, you know, maybe you did not expect, you know. And that's what it is sometimes. Sometimes we just have no idea what we need, but all of a sudden it arises in us because we always have it. It's always there. It's just a matter of it coming to the surface, right? And then being able to receive it. And so, yeah, this is going to be a good time for you. I know it, Gemini. I know it. All right. So let's go ahead and finish up here. I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you for, you know, following along with me through this reading. It is always a huge honor for me. Now, if you want to like the video, it helps the channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. All right. With that, again, I will say I love you, I love you, I love you, and we will talk again in just a few days. Good night.